Welcome on to Raj. Today we have a special video for you, and we're going to go over which players you want to buy, sell, or hold. In other words, who you want to trade for, who you want to trade away. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, if you want to get in my elite mastermind private Facebook group, make sure you send me a DM on Instagram at fantasyfootballrapper. Feel free to give me a follow there. Also, if you have any questions, you guys always comment down below. If you're new to the channel, you like the insight, the information you're getting, be sure to give me a sub and turn on that bell for notifications. Well, guys, let's get into it. Now, buy, sell, or hold. Who are we buying right now? Well, my first player on the list is none other than you're probably tired of me saying his name, but it's Nick Chubb. It's Nick Chubb because maybe to the naked eye, or I should say, maybe to those that don't watch football, they were disappointed in his performance. He didn't blow it out the waters, but let's put everything in perspective, guys. This was against a very, very good Tennessee defense, especially against the run. They're a good defense in general, but they are very, very good. Top 4 last year against the run. Yet, what did Nick Chubb do in a negative game script? He only carried the ball or had 17 carries, averaged 4.4 yards per carry. Okay, so that's promising. I like the fact that he's still getting 17 carries, even though they were behind for most of the game. Not only that, but he also got 4 targets. So that's encouraging. I would like to see him get more snaps, don't get me wrong, but the amount of touches I'm okay with. Hopefully he could get some more, but 21 touches is not bad, especially considering the way the game went. They were playing from behind and against that defense. So if his floor is what we saw, which I think was like 13 points, 11 points maybe, something like that. Maybe it was 11 points. But if that's his floor, I'm okay with that. If against one of the best defenses in the league, you give me 11 points, I'm okay with that because you keep me in the game. You don't kill it for me. You know what I'm saying? So definitely buy low on Nick Chubb because you're probably not going to get him this low for the rest of the year. That's number 1. Number 2, another name you're familiar with me saying, that is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was not having a good game even before the injury. We all know he injured his ankle. But, remember, like Chubb, even though Chubb performed better, Seattle's one of the best defenses. They were playing on the road, down, one offensive lineman retired. One is gone for the year, Jonah Williams. So, yes, he's going to be playing with a shoddy offensive line, but to add insult to injury, their left tackle was out. So, of course he's not going to have a good game. And that's okay because there's going to be better games. I promise you, especially the way Andy Dalton looked against, again, a tough Seattle defense with no left tackle. He had 400 yards. So if Andy does well, the offense is moving the ball. That's good news for Joe Mixon. And what's even better news is you could cuff him with Gio. Gio's available on a lot of people's waivers. If he's not, you could get him for cheap. So as long as you get Mixon, you cuff him with Gio, you have yourself a top 10 running back that you could probably get now at a discount. So this is the same Mixon that was top 10 in rushing last year, averaged 4.5 yards a carry. It's going to be the same offensive line once Gordy Glenn, their left tackle, comes back. So I think he might have averaged actually maybe 4.9 yards a carry. I got to double check that stat. But regardless, Mixon's your guy. Number 3, David Montgomery. David Montgomery, now, I know, 6 carries did not look good. But to me, I wasn't shocked. David Montgomery, to me, was a play for the long term. At the end of the day, David Montgomery will be a top 10 back. Believe it. Believe it. Or else Nagy's not going to have a job. They traded up for him. They chose him in the 3rd round. He looked marvelous. He cannot continue to look like the best back and then only give him 6 carries. It's not going to happen, guys. Mike Davis is a career backup. Tariq Cohen's a nice player, which, by the way, they had them both in the lineup at the same time. And Tariq Cohen, here's some more promising news. Tariq Cohen didn't have a single carry. He's strictly right now a receiver. So don't worry about Montgomery. Again, similar to Chubb and Mixon, this might be the lowest you're going to get him. And, you know, news broke this week that Matt Nagy says be patient, all the fantasy owners, whatever. I'm not buying it, guys. Like I said, that seat gets hot, you better believe he's going to play his best players, and he's going to throw that politics out the window. Some feelings are going to get hurt. Mike Davis signed there. You know, he probably didn't sign to be a backup, but guess what? You're going to be a backup. So, again, pounce on the opportunity to get David Montgomery. I think he has a better week this week. I would give him flex consideration this week. I don't think he's the RB1, maybe not even an RB2 this week, but I think it's on a week-to-week basis. Any week now, I would say by week 3 or 4, we'll start seeing the David Montgomery that everybody fell in love with this offseason. Number 4. What do I got here? David Montgomery. Oh, Robby Anderson. Robby Anderson. Okay, so Robby Anderson, again, I like these guys. He had the most daunting matchup you could possibly get going against Tre'Davious White the first week. Take advantage of people's ignorance. I see people even dropping Robby Anderson in some leagues. I'm like, guys, it's 1 week. I get questions like, should I drop Robby Anderson for John Ross? It's 1 week. One thing we know, the Jets are going to throw the football. That's what Adam Gase likes to do, despite what we saw. But remember, guys, Buffalo's tough. That's a tough defense, specifically in the secondary, specifically outside. It's only upside from here on out. Plus, he was just nursing a calf injury on top of that, guys. Anderson's a talent. He's a talent with a talented quarterback, and he's a number 1 receiver with a talented quarterback on a throwing offense that just lost their second receiver in on-1. I expect Jamison Crowder to also be a big part of that offense, maybe even lead all pass catchers and targets, but that's okay. Robby Anderson is the home run hitter, but he's going to be more than that this year, guys. Get Anderson before it's too late. He might even be on your waiver. I mean, you could get him. I bet you could get him so cheap right now because everybody saw what Crowder did and the Jets, and get him. Number 5, Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper is just, I don't know, nobody likes Austin Hooper. Even myself, I wasn't a big Austin Hooper guy. Because, like, yeah, he was number 6 last year, but, you know, it seemed like everybody flamed out or got injured. You had Evan Ingram, O.J. Howard, Hunter Henry. All these guys get injured. You even had, like, guys like Jared Cook be in the top 5. But Austin Hooper is a 3rd-round draft pick, a big guy, a talented guy in a throwing offense, and the reason I'm obsessed with Hooper this year is the offensive coordinator, Dirk Koetter. All he does is produce top 5 tight ends, and I see no reason why Hooper won't be that this year. Tough matchup, on the road, 9 targets for a tight end is a lot. Got you 16 points. But people are still overlooking him. People are like, yeah, Austin Hooper's on my waivers, or, you know, Austin Hooper, should I drop him for TJ Hawkinson? Should I bench him for Waller? I'm like, dude, do you know who Austin Hooper is? Do you know who Dirk Koetter is? Do you know that Atlanta Falcons are going to be a high-flying offense? And I love them this week at home against Philly. That should be a good game. That should be a shootout. Another, you know, well, Philly's really good against, well, I don't know, because Vernon Davis did good. Either way, Hooper's an every week start. That's not something you need to ask me. If you have Hooper, you're starting him. And if you don't have him, go get him. Now for my sell list. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad if you have these players. First up, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper looked good. Watch some of the game film because I don't like, you know, box score watching. It doesn't tell the whole story. His touchdown did come against Baker, the rookie. He shook him out of shoes. 1-on-1 coverage against the rookie. Cooper's going to win that every time. But we have to look at everything as a whole. Cooper has shown us this before. Okay, this is not the first time Hooper has a good game. It does look like Dallas wants to, you know, make him, you know, one of the focal points of their offense outside of Zeke, at least among the pass catcher, had a bunch of targets. But let's not get it twisted. This was the Giants, even though they played him tough last year. And like I said, the The touchdown did come against Baker, not Janoris Jenkins, but he was scoring on Janoris too. But the Giants have no pass rush. Dallas has an elite offensive line. At home, we've also seen Dak do this before. Dak has teased us same way Amari Cooper has teased us. Let's not fall into the trap. I do think Dak is more secure this year than in years past because of the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. But I still think he can be prone to bad games, especially on the road against the better defenses. Amari's the same way. And on top of all that, Amari was nursing an injury the whole offseason. Nobody knew what the heck it was. It was a bone bruise, and people thought it was Linz Frank, and then they said it's ligaments, and then this past game, it flared up. That, to me, is a red flag. Didn't participate in the offseason. First game back, your foot's flaring up. That, to me, is a red flag. See, this is the thing. Every game is so important. Every move you make is so important in fantasy. We have to minimize risk as much as possible. We know there's so many injuries. Look, Hunter Henry, 4 to 6 weeks today. Tyreek Hill, about the same. There's going to be injuries every single week. We need to give ourselves the best opportunity possible to avoid any of these injuries. And the best way to do that is to be proactive. And if guys are already having, those tall tale signs, get rid of them. He just had a good game. Just be safe. Get somebody comparable. Even if you lose a little bit, or you might think you lose a little bit on the trade. Take care of that, guys. Because if not, and then you're stuck with nothing. Getting something in return that's comparable, even if, let's say, Amari Cooper plays the whole year, that's still better than being left with nothing. Remember that. Next guy up, D-Jax. D-Jax, similar to Amari. We've seen this movie before, guys. It's not the first time D-Jax has blown us away with a bunch of bombs. But after you've been in the league so many years, you are what you are. D-Jax is not going to be getting 10 to 12 targets a game, guys. Every game is like a new season. Every game the coach comes in with a new agenda or, a new way to attack the defense. At least the good coaches. You saw it with the Jets. They can't throw on the outside on Buffalo, so they got him in the middle of the field with Crowder in the slot, and they got him with Bell. That's how you get Buffalo, and that's what the Jets did. You think Jamison Crowder's going to get 17 targets every game? No. He's going to get a lot, though. He will get a lot. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, don't think for 1 second that just because a team plays a certain way one week, that I won't switch it. There's players that could get 4 targets one week and then 10 the next, and vice versa. Only certain players, only your Jujus, your Godwins, your Tyler Boyds, your Devontae Adams, your Nooks, those are always going to get double-digit targets or close to it every single game. Everyone else, it's game-by-game decision. Sell high in D-Jax. There's people thinking right now he could be like the main receiver in Philadelphia. I still see Carson Wentz as a receiver who likes to spread the ball. It's going to go with the hot hand or hot receiver. Next week it'll be Ertz. The next week it'll be Goddard. The next week it'll be Aguilar. The next week it'll be Jeffrey. So that's the way Wentz plays. That's the way Philly plays. You even see it in the running backs. They don't even give one running back the ball. It's like Sproles. And that's so annoying, by the way, because I love Miles Sanders. He's somebody, I should have put him in the buy low list. Maybe he'll make it next week. But that's the way Philly rolls, guys. So D-Jax, if there's somebody that believes he's going to be a 10 to 12 target receiver every week and the main guy in Philly, take advantage. The next guy is Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I was gonna do Dak Prescott, but too many Cowboys. You could sell high in Dak Prescott, but I don't think you're going to get much for Dak Prescott. I don't think too many people are, knocking on your door for Dak Prescott, even though he did have an amazing, game. So Lamar Jackson, and look, and full disclaimer here, I like Lamar. This is all about getting the maximum value for your players. taking advantage of deals of people, of players with low sentiment right now, like I mentioned, Chubb, Mixon, whatever, and then taking advantage of the hype that you get with having one breakout game, especially early in the year, being week 1. So Lamar's value right now, perfect quarterback rating, what do you get, 5 touchdowns or whatever, is never going to be higher. And again, I like Lamar. And if you don't get some good return, then keep him. I'm not saying I'm not saying get rid of him. I am a little with Amari. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, it's very hard to get compensation for quarterbacks. And most of you guys drafted Lamar Jackson as your QB2. But some of you guys also drafted Cam Newton as your QB1. So it's like a catch-22 there because you're QB2. Now, if you were lucky and you got Baker, you got Ryan, you got A-Rod, and then you got Lamar Jackson on as your QB2, you're sitting pretty. Or maybe you want to trade one of those guys. But Lamar Jackson right now, his value is at an all-time high. But the fact remains, he still only threw 20 passes. He still don't look like a very good passer in preseason. It was the Dolphins. This is still a running team. I still can see him struggle against the better defenses. So why not trade a guy when his value is at his highest? If you could get a solid return, a solid running back, a solid receiver, those are positions that are typically harder to get and you need more of, do it. Marlon Mack looked really good. And let me make this clear, guys. Marlon Mack is not a player I'm high on per se. Has nothing to do with his talent. Because he is a talented running back. He is. But he didn't get any targets. Did absolutely nothing in the passing game. If they continue to give him 25 carries a game, he's going to get injured. He's injury prone. He's been injured his first 2 years. I don't see a player with his stature being able to carry the ball 20 plus times every week and not getting injured. That's number 1. Number 2, go back to the passing game. Showed us nothing there. So if he doesn't get a touchdown, what is he going to give us? He's not going to rush for 100 yards every week. He's also not going to play the Chargers every week, who are susceptible to the run. So everybody, again, is hype off Mac based on what they saw, based on the usage. Get rid of him, because I think you could get close to RB1 prices on Mac, and that right now is, even if you could, people will might even take Marlon Mack for Montgomery or Chubb, or you could, do a package, do a throw-in receiver or something in the case of Chubb or Mixon, and I would do that every day. There's a couple of you guys that asked me, hey, should I trade Marlon Mack for Mixon? Yeah. I'm not basing it off one game. Yeah, if we base it off one game, you look like you're getting destroyed. But Mixon's still a guy that was going at the end of the first round, top of the second. Marlon Mack's still Marlon Mack. So definitely, if you can, sell high on Marlon Mack. And this other guy, Derrick Henry. Now, again, I like Derrick Henry. He could be a solid RB2 when the numbers are, when it's all said and done. But he's not going to get a 75-yard catch every week. And besides that catch, that was his only catch. It was kind of a fluky play. He was just wide open and ran down the sideline 75 yards. I don't see that happening for the rest of the year. He still was splitting touches, not evenly, but I think it was about a 60-40, somewhere like that, with Dion Lewis. And Cleveland is another bad defense against the run. So if you add all that together, the game script went his way, bad defense against the run, fluky play. There's people right now that will give you, like Mac, will give you close, if not RB1 prices. Why not take advantage of a player that gives you nothing in the passing game? Better in standard, in PPR, again, touchdown or bust, similar to Mac. If you ask me who I like better, I like Derrick Henry better than Mac, but I still would rather trade both of them for maybe some more PPR backs or a package deal. Maybe you get a guy, like Miles Sanders. Maybe get a Miles Sanders, as long as you don't have to make him your RB2. Like, let's say you have another stud running back, because you don't want Miles Sanders your RB2. You want him maybe as your RB3 every week flex. But if you get like a Miles Sanders and an MVS, another wide receiver 3 with upside, wide receiver 2, I would take a deal like that. we'll take a deal like that, something similar, maybe not exactly that deal, but just to give you an idea of what I would be looking for for Derrick Henry, and that would be a pass catch back and a receiver, or maybe a really good receiver, maybe like a Chris Godwin straight up, or a Tyler Boyd or a Cooper Kupp or something like that. That's also, a possibility if you have Derrick Henry. And you have some running back depth, obviously. Let's see. Is that all with my sells? Okay, so that ends my sells. Now for my holds. My holds are players that, they had good weeks, but you want to see more. You're not calling it a fluke. You're not calling it they're superstars. Although in the case of some of these, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of these guys. So let's get into our holds. Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, he was a product of circumstance. Atlanta's not good against running backs. They haven't been for several years now, and they proved it on Sunday. But at the same time, it's Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has shown us, when he's healthy, flashes of brilliance. 21 carries. 21 carries shows that they're confident in that knee. That tells me a lot. Now, Dalvin Cook, you better cuff him with Alexander Madison, guys. That's a must cuff. If there's ever a cuff in this league that you gotta have, even if you pay more for Madison, that's it. And the same thing, if you have Madison and you don't have Cook, go out and get Cook, even if you have to pay a lot. Because if you could because regardless, if you get that pair, you secure yourself a top 5 to 10 running back for sure. Go out and get him, because again, he had an easy matchup, but with that zone scheme, Gary Kubiak, this guy breeds running backs. He's for real. Hold him. Another guy is Ekeler. Ekeler looked amazing. What I like is, the split was a lot bigger than I thought. I think DeSean Jackson had only 25% of the snaps, which that was kind of shocking to me. I don't look at Ekeler like that, like being a dominant back, but that's close to actually Melvin Gordon numbers. Melvin Gordon, I think, had about 70 and Ekeler had 30, and this was a 75-25 split. We could say it's one game, but I don't know, guys. He also led in carries like that, 12 carries. You don't want him getting more. Ekeler is like a Kamara. That's a great comparison. I just came up with that now. Ekeler is Kamara. 12 carries, kill you in the receiving game. That's exactly what he did. What did he do? Caught 6 to 7 passes, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he's not going to get that every week. Colts are really bad against pass catch backs. But that's the type of role he'll have, and he will be consistent, and he will be a top 12 to 15 running back easy, possibly top 10. Hold him. Gallup. I want you to sell Amari. Part of the reason is I love Gallup. I love his talent. I love the way he's looked. He showed flashes last season. He had a career high in that playoff game against the Rams. He showed flashes in the offseason, in the preseason, and week 1 he keeps that. You know what? I'm all about players with momentum, and that man has got it right now. I was a little wary. Didn't think Dak can, have 2 wide receivers relevant in fantasy. But if you add everything together, the new offensive coordinator, the new look Dak, and the aggressive play calling, and the natural maturation of Gallup, and then there's the kicker. If something were to happen to Amari, I have a feeling he's going to miss some games. He might end up missing the season. Because if this thing begins to linger, so at worst, you probably got yourself a solid wide receiver 3 with upside. Best case scenario, something happens to Amari, you could have your high wide receiver 2 with upside. So, love me some Michael Gallup. 7 out of 7 passes, 158 yards. And he's got the benefit of teams focusing on Amari, so he could run free. And Zeke. So he's going to get some good looks. And he could get some chunk plays like the 62-yard bomb he had in week 1. Love me some Michael Gallup this year. Devin Singletary. That boy looked good. I was not expecting him to get 70% of the snaps, guys. That's elite usage. Only 4 carries. But in those 4 carries, 70 yards, 74 yards, I believe he had. That's impressive, guys. That's really impressive. Now, I'm a little concerned, though, because not every week he's going to be able to get 4 carries for 70 yards. But at the same time, maybe they increase his carries. I would figure they would. Nick Chubb only got like 2 carries his first couple of games when he was with Oakland. Or I'm thinking Oakland because he had those big runs. He had like huge runs against Oakland. I think he had like 2 touchdowns early last season, like week 3 or something. But yeah, if he continues to show that, maybe he'll get more carries. I love that he got, what does it say here, 6 targets. That's a lot. 5 catches, only 28 yards. But if he's getting the volume, eventually I think a playmaker like Devin Singletary, similar to Lindsey, who also got 6 targets, I think eventually they'll crack a big one. So Devin Singletary, you paid cheap. He looked great. There's no reason whatsoever you should be trading him at the moment. And last but not least, another one of my favorites, I've been saying his name all year, is Cooper Kupp. First game back from ACL. Tough matchup. What'd he do? I was even telling people to sit him. I was like, yo, first game back, ACL, Carolina on the road. You know, maybe you'll see 50%. Dude had 10 targets, caught 7 of them, only 46 yards. But you got to like him. That's why you got to take advantage, because people might see that and people just look at the, the final. It's like, Cooper Kupp got me 11 points. Read between the lines. 7 for 10. I like the usage. That's probably his worst game because first game back from ACL. They're supposed to be easing him in there. They threw him in the fire, and he performed. Love Cooper Kupp, guys. Cooper Kupp's big. He's like 6'6". Goff's favorite target. Shown progression every year. Wide receiver 4 before he got injured the first time last year. Was leading the league catching touchdowns. Again, like these other guys, this is probably, well, I'm talking about him like he's a buy. I'm like, well, if you don't have, he could be considered a buy. So, yeah, go get him if you don't have him. If you do have him, hold him. And like the famous rapper French Montana says, don't panic. Cooper Kupp. He's for real. All right, guys, so we got our buys, our sells, our holds. If you have any questions about any of these players or questions in general about your lineup, about trades, about waivers, whatever the case may be, comment down below. Follow me on social media, Twitter @IamFFRapper, Instagram @fantasyfootballrapper, same thing, Facebook, fantasyfootballrapper. If you want to get in my elite mastermind private Facebook group, DM me, comment down below. It's only $20 for the whole season. I will do a whole roster evaluation, tell you exactly what you need to do, what holes you have in your lineup, why certain things aren't meshing, yada, yada, yada. All right, guys? It's like having me as your personal coach. Until next time, we out this.